Welcome to Kenpo University. My name's Al Babinick, and I'm your instructor. I want to talk about the bracing angle for bowing to Buddha and the kick for bowing to Buddha. Now, bowing to Buddha, you see it in the long four, and then you see it written in the manual, and like a sister type technique for it would be swinging pendulum, all right? And I'll tell you why in a second. Now, bowing to Buddha in the manual is written against a roundhouse kick. And if you've been following along on Kenpo University and you know anything about bracing angles, if you understand bracing angles, you just go, no, that's impossible. All right? And if it doesn't make sense, I'll explain it to you. So tell you what, if you know what a bracing angle is, and you were always taught that bowing to Buddha was against a roundhouse kick, I want you to pause right now, hit your space bar or tap the screen, pause and think about why bowing to Buddha can't be against a roundhouse kick. All right? But I'm just going to keep going right now. So let's look at swinging pendulum out of purple. A bracing angle is an angle or position that gives stability to your stances or strikes, and in this case, blocks. All right? So on a roundhouse, when somebody's throwing a roundhouse, punch, kick, club, whatever, all right, they're hitting you on the upside of the circle. So when somebody's hitting you, if I was throwing a roundhouse punch, if I just came in and threw a roundhouse punch like this, I'm not throwing a hook. I'm not hitting sideways to that wall. I'm actually punching towards a corner. So if you throw a roundhouse punch towards a bag or a roundhouse kick, you're not supposed to be hitting that way, although this explanation still works for it, but you're actually hitting towards a corner. Now, swinging pendulum is against that roundhouse kick. If I'm set in my stance and the kick's coming around this way, I'm braced for you. So I'm braced to kick or punch or strike or block that way. If I'm in a neutral bow and something hit me this way, it's the same thing as standing in a horse. I'm going to get knocked off to the side. So in swinging pendulum, which is against a roundhouse kick, we see that you off angle 45 degrees as you throw your universal block. Now, my bracing angle is going towards that kick, or it's for that kick when I do my universal block. All right? So you can see that in swinging pendulum, we take care of, we have to adjust off to get the right bracing angle, so we take care of not getting knocked over. All right? Now, hopefully that just sent off some light bulbs in your head on why bowing to Buddha can't be against a roundhouse kick. Or if you want it to be a roundhouse kick, we could do it, but we have to do it different. So I'm going to go straight out of the kata, all right? So I'll tell you what, I'll do it as written first. So as written, we're down here, and if I'm standing like this, it's the same thing as if I was in a neutral bow. If somebody threw a roundhouse kick at me and I just tried to do block, I'm going to get knocked right over that way. Bowing to Buddha is actually against a front kick. All right? So, and this was in the front kick challenge. So if you take a look at the Kenpo challenge video for the front kicks, this is it. This was in there, and this is why. All right? If there's a front kick coming at me, I can smother that. I can use a smothering block. You're going to hit with the meaty part, so you don't hit with the bone. Ow, right? Shin bone on this, that's going to hurt. So you're going to hit with the meaty part, and you're going to hit down with the left. So this kind of parries it off to the side. This actually does the smothering motion, and then you get the flick in there. So it's actually going to be, here comes the front kick, hook the heel, hit the meaty part of the thigh, and flick it off. I don't know how you do raining claw, but if you do raining claw, against the uppercut, you do the smother and flick with the lowercase the same exact way. All right, so this is a very low version of raining claw. But if the front kick was coming at me, I can smother, hook, and get this out of the way before I go in and do the rest of my technique and then finish up. Bowing to Buddha is actually one of those techniques where there's a lot of stuff that we might want to do a little bit different as we go through it versus what the book says. And I know there's a lot of purists out there who say the only right way is what's in the manual. And hopefully, I just showed you that not necessarily, okay? It's not that we couldn't do bowing to Buddha against a roundhouse kick, but I couldn't do it as written. If you tried, and if you're out there and you're saying, oh, no, we do that at the studio, or we do it at the dojo all the time, well, maybe your uke wasn't like really trying to kick you. They shouldn't just be going, oh, tag, you're it. If I had some guy on his knee in front of me and I was going to throw a roundhouse kick, I'm knocking his head off. I'm not going, tag, little tippy tap there, all right? So if you think I'm wrong, go ahead and just tell your uke to just push through or throw a roundhouse punch and just try to knock you over. And I bet you're going to be sideways on the ground, okay, if you try to do it against a roundhouse kick. Now, if you either adjust your bracing angle, okay, so you adjust for a bracing angle, or you do it against the front kick like I showed you, then it'll work for you. So, but again, I know I'm going to annoy a whole bunch of purists out there who say that the manual is right, it's never wrong. Well, if you follow along on these videos and stuff, you're going to find out that that's not entirely true. There's some typos. You know, they wrote that whole manual. There's some left and right typos in there, front and back typos, and little things like this, where don't know why it was written this way, but that's the way it was written. So I hope this clears up why bowing to Buddha won't work against a roundhouse kick as written. Okay? So thanks for watching. Sorry if I upset you, or you've been doing it different for 20-some years or 30 years or whatever, but them's the facts. Thank you for watching this video production from Kenpo University.